Hello everyone, math enthusiasts, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Super Math, and today we're diving into one of the most useful branches of mathematics, which is statistics. So from predicting weather patterns to analyzing sports scores, statistics is everywhere. So in this video, we will explore how we can use statistics to interpret the data, make predictions, and solve real-world problems. So whether you are a student preparing for exams or just curious about how the data shapes the world, sticks around as we break down the basics of statistics and mathematics. Okay, so let's get started. First, let us define statistics. So statistics is a branch of mathematics that deals with collections, analysis, interpretation, presentation, and organizations of data. Here in statistics, we have three key measures are commonly used to describe and summarize the data. These are the measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, or the variability. And the last one is the measures of position. So now let's start with the measures of central tendency. So here under this provide the central or typical value of our data sets. So indicating where is the most of the data points cluster. So we have the mean, the median, and the mode. So particularly with these three measures, these are the scores of categories that describe what is the average or typical of a given distributions. Basically, this central tendency may also be called as the center or locations of a certain distributions. So let's start with the mean. So mean is also known as the average of a distributions and the most frequently used measure of central tendency. So it can be found by adding the data, values, and dividing the total number of the data values. Okay, so we have here the two formula that we are going to use to get the value of our mean. We have for the ungrouped data and we have for the group data. So for the ungrouped data, we have the summation of x over n. While in group data, we have the summation of f of x over n. So let's start with the ungrouped data, where our sample mean, that is the symbol that we are going to use, and the x, that is the value of any particular observations or measurement that we have. And the summation of x, that is the sum of all x. And our n, that is the total number of values in a sum. 5 judges give their scores on the performance of a gymnast as follows. We have 8, 9, 9, 9, and 10. And we are going to find the mean score of our gymnast. So because this is ungrouped data, we are going to use this formula. As you can see, you are going to get the sum of all those values that we have. 8 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 10, that is equal to 45. And that is divided by 5 because we have 5 data values only. That is why our denominator here is 5. So 45 divided by 5, that is equal to 9. So therefore, our mean score of our gymnast is equal to 9. So now let us take a look with the group data formula. So that is the summation of f of x over n, which is our f, that is the frequency. Our x, that is the midpoint. And we have the sum of all the product of frequency and the midpoint. That is the summation of f of x. And our n, that is the same, the total number of values in a given sample. Okay, like for example, we have this given data. So we have the class limit, that is 46 to 50, 51 to 55, 56 to 60, 61 to 65, and so on. And we have the frequency of 2, 3, 3, 4, 6, 9, 6, 5, 4, 5, and 3. So the first thing that we are going to do here is to get the midpoint. Okay, so to get the midpoint, you need to take a look their class limits. So as you can see, on the first row, we have 46 to 50. Okay, so to get the midpoint, you need to have x. So that is our midpoint, which is x is equal to the upper limits plus the lower limits. Okay, divided by 2. Okay, so by this, to look for the upper limits, that is the biggest number of our class limit on this first row. So what is the number that has a biggest number here? So that is 50. So now we have 50 plus, and the lower limits, that is the lowest value that we have here. So that is 46. And then, so that is divided by 2. So 50 plus 46, that is equal to 96. So divided by 2, that is equal to 48. So therefore, our midpoint here is equal to 48. Okay, so the same thing we are going to do to get the midpoint of 51 to 55, that is equal to 53. Okay, so getting the 55 plus 51 divided by 2, so that is 53. And so on, you are going to get the midpoint until you get this one. So this is our midpoint. Okay, so we have 48, 53, 58, 63, 68, 73, 78, 83, 88, 93, and 90. So here, to get the f of x, we have to get the product of the frequency and the midpoint. Okay, so now we have the frequency. In the first row, we have 2. And on the first row, the midpoint is 48. So getting the product of that, 2 multiplied by 48, that is equal to 96. On the second row, we have 3 multiplied to 53, that is 159. On the third row, 3 multiplied to 58, that is equal to 174. And so on. You are going to do that, the same thing, until you meet the bottom part. Okay, until you get on this part. So now we are going to get the summation of f of x, wherein you are going to get the sum of all the product of frequency and the midpoint. So we are going to add 96, 159 plus 174 plus 252, and so on. That is equal to 3,740. And for us to get the value of n, that is the total number of frequency that we have in this table. So first row, we have 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 and so on. That is equal to 50. So therefore, our total number of frequency, that is the value of n, which is 50. So now let us substitute the given values that we got. So now we have 3,740 divided by 50, that is equal to 74.8, which is, that is the mean score of this given group data. Okay, so now let us take a look with the median. So median is the middlemost data in the distributions. Okay, it separates the upper and the lower portion of our given data. So to find the median, it is a must to arrange the data from highest to lowest and vice versa. Here in median, the middle value when the data is arranged in order, if the number of observation is even, the median is the average of the two middle numbers. Okay? So the same thing, we have to consider two formulas. That is for ungrouped data and we have for the group data. So let us start with the ungrouped data. So ungrouped data, we need to consider two rules. If your n is odd, the median is the middle rank. If your n is even, the median is the average of two middle rank values that we have. Okay, so this formula, median is equal to m plus 1 divided by 2. This is the way we are going to find the locations of our median in a given data sets. For example, okay, we are going to find the median of the scores of 11 BTTE. 3G student in their midterm examinations. So the data set is 92, 89, 87, 93, 94, 90, 88, 84, 90, 85, and then 82. So first thing, we need to arrange our data sets. So from lowest to highest or highest to lowest. So that is vice versa. So let us try with the lowest to highest. So we have this given data sets, and as you can see, we have here the total number of data values that we have, that is 11. So that is an odd number. So as you can see right now, if you have an odd number of your total data values, you are just going to take the middle rank or the middle number of our data sets. But first, let us take a look which location we are going to get our median. So median is equal to n plus 1 divided by 2. So our n is 11. So plus 1 divided by 2, that is 12 divided by 2. So that is equal to 6. 6 here is not the median. The 6 locations is our median here, which is from 82, 84, 85, 86, 88, and 89. 89 is in the 6th location, which is, that is the median of our given data set. So hence, the median is 89. Okay, so let us take a look with another example. So the daily rates of a sample of 8 employees at GMS Incorporated, they are 550, 420, 560, 500, 700, 670, 860, and we have 480. So we are going to find the median daily rate of our employees. Okay, so first thing, we need to arrange our data. So from lowest to highest again. So as you can see right now, we have our total number of data values. We have 8, which is, that is even. So we can get the median by getting the average of 2 middle ranks. But first, let us take a look for the locations of our median. So using this formula, let us just substitute the value of n, which is 8. So we have now 8 plus 1 divided by 2. So we have 9 over 2. So 9 over 2, that is equal to 4.5. So which is, our data or our median is in the 4.5 rank locations. So that is between in the 4th rank and in the 5th rank. Okay, so to get the average of our 2 middle rank, that is 550 plus 560 divided by 2, that is equal to 555. So therefore, the median daily rates is equal to 555. Okay, so now let us take a look with the group data for getting the median. So first thing and foremost, you need to be familiar with the median, or what we call rank value. In some other books, it's says here that is the median class, which is, that is equal to n divided by 2, where our median is equal to the lower boundaries, which is the LB, that is the lower boundaries of a median class. Our F is the frequency of the median class. Our CF, that is the cumulative frequency before the median class. Okay, you need to take note of this. So n is equal to the total number of values in a given sample. So that is the same thing to get the value of n. So I is equal to interval. So now let us take a look with this example. So determine the median of a frequency distributions on the ages of 50 people taking travel hours. So we have a class limits, which is 18 to 26, 27 to 35, 36 to 34, and so on. And now we have the frequency, which is 3, 5, 9, 14, 11, 6, and 2. So first thing, you need to get the cumulative frequency. So to get our cumulative frequency, first copy the first frequency, which is 3. And then next is, we are going to add the next frequency from the previous frequency. So we have 3 plus 5, that is 8. Now next, 8 plus 9, that is 17. So 17 plus 14, that is equal to 31. Okay, so 31 plus 11, that is 42. And now plus 6, we have 48, and we have 48 plus 2, that is 50. So that is our cumulative frequency. So now if you remember how we're going to get the value of our N, you are going to get that from the total number of frequency that we have. So 3 plus 5 plus 9 plus 14 plus 11 plus 6 plus 2, that is equal to 50. So therefore, our N here is equal to 50. So before we are going to dive into a formula, we need to take a look for the median class. For the observations of our given value, we are going to take a look for the median class. Okay? So median class, that is N over 2. So our N is 50. So divided by 2. And that is equal to 25. So we're in 25 here is in the 25th rank locations. As you can see, we have right now the cumulative frequency. So you are going to look which location you are going to find 25th rank in your cumulative frequency. So as you can see right now, that is between from 17 to 31. But you need to consider that your median class is greater than or equal to our 25th rank. So is 17 is greater than 25? So that is not. So how about 31? So that is greater than 25. So that is our median class. Okay? So we are going to take that median class for us to have those value in our given formula. So let us now determine the values of lower boundary, the cumulative frequency, the interval, and the value of N, which is I highlighted by yellow, which is our median class. So now let us take a look with the lower boundary. So to take the lower boundary, that is the lower limits minus 0.5, which is 0.5 is constant to take the lower boundary. So what is the lower limits of our median class? That is 45. Okay, so now we have 45 minus 0.5, we have 44.5. Now we have to take a look with the interval. So to take the interval, take a look for the lower limits of each row. So now we have 72. So to take our interval, that is 72 minus 63. And that is equal to 9. So therefore, our interval is equal to 9. Even we are going to get here 27 minus 18, that is equal to 9. So right now, our interval, that is equal to 9. So to get our frequency, what is the frequency of our given median class? So that is 14. Okay. How about our cumulative frequency? To get our cumulative frequency, that is the cumulative frequency before the median class. So that is 70. Okay, so to get the value of N, that is 50. That is the total numbers of our frequency. So now we have all those value. Let us just substitute in our given formula. So our formula is median is equal to lower boundary plus N over 2 minus cumulative frequency divided by the frequency times our interval. So these are the data that we have gathered earlier from a given table. So let us just substitute our given values. Now we have 44.5 plus 25 minus 17 divided by 14 times 9. Okay, so let us just simplify first the inside value in the parentheses. So we have 25 minus 17, that is 8. So we have 8 divided by 14. So this one. So it becomes 8. So 8 divided by 14, that is around 0.57. Okay. So now we have here 0.57 times 9, that is equal to 5.14. So now, let us just add this. 44.5 plus 5.14, that is equal to 49.64. So that is the median of our group data, which is 49.64. Okay, now, so let us take a look with the mode. Okay, mode is the most frequent occurring data in our given set. It is observable than the mean and the median, which is the value that occurs more or most frequently. That is our mode. So for you to easily understand mode, it has the greatest frequency in our given data sets. Okay, unlike with our previous formula, for mode, we only have one formula to consider. So for ungrouped data, we are just going to look for their greatest frequency. And we have different types of modes there. Okay, so let us start with the ungrouped data. So in the types of mode, we have unimodal, bimodal, trimodal, multimodal, and we have no mode. When we take a look with the unimodal, that is the data set that has the only one value that occur with the greatest frequency. It means you only have one mode in your data sets. While in bimodal, you have the data which it has two values with the same greatest frequency. Okay, while here in trimodal, your data has three values with the same greatest frequency. If you have one mode, that is unimodal. If you have two modes, that is bimodal. And if you have three values with the same greatest frequency, that is trimodal. And if you have a data set which is four or more than four modes, that is what we call multimodal. And of course, we also have no mode, which is our data sets of values has the same number of frequency. Okay, so like for example, let us consider the heights in inches of 10 basketball players. So we have 70, 70, 71, 71, 72, 72, 72, 72, and we have 75 and then 75. So here right now, let us find the mode. So we have 270, we have two values for 71, and we have four values for 72, and we have two values for 75. So by this given data set, which value has the greatest frequency? Okay, so that is 72. Or we have frequency which is 4 for 72. Okay, so therefore, our mode here is 72. And because we have only one mode in this given data set, that is unimodal. So therefore, this implies that the most frequent height among the 10 basketball players is 72 inches. So let us take a look with another example. So consider the scores of 15 students in a quiz. We have 16, 16, 16, 17, 17, 17, 18, 18, 18, 19, 19, 19, 20, 20, and then 20. So this value of our given data set is no mode because all the observed values have the same frequency of occurrence. Sometimes the mode does not exist. As you can see, we have frequency of our 16, which is 3, 17 is 3, 18 is 3, 19 is also 3, and 20 is also 3. So the same frequency, we don't have greatest frequency in this data set, so we have no mode. Another example. Let us consider the shoe size of 24 faculty members. We have 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and another 6. We have 7, 8, 9, 9, and 10. How many 10 do we have here? So that is 8 and 11. 6 has 8 frequency. 10 has 8 frequency also. So we have two modes, which is 6 and 10. So that is bimodal. So since this distribution has two modes. Okay, so now let us take a look with the group data for getting the mode. So the same thing, we have the lower boundary, which is the LB. The F is frequency of our modal class. F sub 1 is the frequency before the modal class. F sub 2 is the frequency after the modal class. And I is our interval. So by this given example, this is the same thing that we got in the example of our median class. Okay, so now let us take a look with the modal class. First, what is the modal class of this given example? Let's take a look with the greatest frequency. So which data has the greatest frequency? As you can see, we have 14. So on that row, that is our modal class, which has the greatest frequency. We are going to look for the observations or given values from our modal class. So let us take a look with this formula. Let us get the lower boundary of that. So the lower boundary, that is equal to lower limits minus 0.5. So the same thing, 45 minus 0.5, that is equal to 44.5. Okay, for the interval, the same thing. 27 minus 18, that is equal to 9. So how about our frequency? So our frequency here, that is 14. For the f sub 1, that is equal to 9. Remember, f sub 1, that is the frequency before the modal class. And our f sub 2, that is after, or the frequency after the modal class. Okay, so let's take a look with this given picture. Okay, so that is our data values we've gathered to use in our formula. So let us just substitute all those value. So we have here the lower boundary is 44.5 plus 14, that is the frequency, minus 9, which is the f sub 1. 2 times 14 minus 9 minus 11 times 9. So let us just simplify the inside value in the parentheses. So we have right now 44.5 plus 0.625 times 9. Okay, so getting the product of that, that is 5.625 plus 44.5, that is equal to 50.13. So therefore, the mode of this group data is equal to 50.13. Okay, so thank you for watching for these lessons on statistics. I hope you found it helpful and are ready to tackle more data challenges. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more, don't forget to give thumbs up and share it with others who might benefit. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay updated on all my future lessons. So your support helps me create more valuable content just for you. Thanks again and see you in the next video. Bye for now.